Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 346. In this episode, we are going to recognize times that you have turned your setbacks into comebacks. That, my friend, is badass, and that is day 6 of the 12 days of badassery. So if you want a companion guide to write a journal along as you're doing this, or right after you get done listening to the episode, ordinarytobadass.com/12. With that, let's get to the episode.
Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Whether you're ordinary or you're badass, I am so glad you're here. Today, we're going to talk all about how to turn setbacks into comebacks. Now, it's not exactly teaching you how to set setbacks into comebacks. It's just helping you realize all of the times that you've done it. So I'm going to give you different prompts, different things, so that you can realize all of the times in your life that you have set or that you have turned the setbacks into comebacks. I don't know why this is so hard for me to say today. Words are hard. Bear with me. So I know that you are resilient. It's just a matter of if you know it. The importance of writing these down is so that you can see what a badass you are. So on times where you're experiencing doubt, where you're down in the dumps thinking that you suck, we all have those days, right? But then you actually have something to go back to and be like, oh, actually, that's not true. And we can look at the proof for ourselves. So make sure you're writing this stuff down. There is a journal with some prompts, ordinarytobadass.com/12. Get yours today, and you can do it right along with the episode or when we're done. So, when have you turned a setback into a comeback? Maybe you made a mistake and you turned around and you corrected it. Or you failed at a job interview and you went and tried again. Now, that one, I'll be honest, I have some personal experience with. A time I turned a setback into a comeback is that I applied for promotions. I applied to be detective a couple times, didn't get it. I applied to be a detective sergeant a couple times, didn't get it. I applied to be a lieutenant. Finally, I got it. But I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have got to that level if I hadn't have kept trying. I probably failed 4 different times, right? But I kept on going, kept on trying. Anytime you're doing that, you're failing, but you're going back trying again. That builds resilience. That helps you to be the badass that you are today. So if that jogged anything for you, make sure to write it down. Now, have you ever had a mindset shift where you started to look at setbacks as an opportunity for your own growth? Maybe you just decided to take a second and learn from the experience and focus on that. And then that helped you move on. That helped you grow. Have you ever decided you're going to make a change instead of letting that thing take you down? Think of times in your life where you were adaptable, where you were flexible to change. Maybe something wasn't working for you. You were trying to learn it one way and it wasn't working. So then you said, okay, let's change it. I'll do your way. And you switched it. You changed. You were adaptable. That's badass. Okay. I love this next one. Think of times where you sought support. Maybe you were going through a tough time and you sought support. You felt like you were failing or you were drowning or just things were sucking and you sought support. Maybe you went to see a counselor, a therapist, or you talked to a friend or family member, told them what was going on. Seeking support from the people around you is absolutely critical and it can be life-changing. But then, like, when you do these things and it helps you to turn a setback into a comeback, that reminds you the next time, like, oh yeah, this is what I did last time. This is how I got out of the funk. What about the times where you use a setback as a time to learn? You're like, oh, maybe I don't know this skill. And so you just used it as a learning and growing opportunity where you figured it out, but you figured it out because you were willing to engage and grow. Maybe you decided to acquire a new skill because you didn't get it right, or you failed, or you messed up, or you felt that way. It doesn't mean you actually did, but you felt that way. And so then you're like, okay, I guess I need to acquire this skill. For example, if you stunk like so many of us do at public speaking, and then say you got up and you froze, you couldn't say anything, but then later you decided to practice on your public speaking. That's a win. That's awesome. That's amazing. If you actually got the nerve to get up and then do public speaking, or you went and got a coach or got help or joined Toastmasters, that's badass. How about those times where you cultivated resilience, where you ended up developing a new skill or a mechanism, a way to deal with the stress that you were going through? Maybe it's you started walking or running, or you tapped into your passion more. If you like scrapbooking, you did more of that. You just learned a different way of dealing with things, less healthy ways, as opposed to turning to less healthy ways, like alcohol or eating, right? You could overeat. That's another thing people do, or drugs or whatever. There's a plenty of unhealthy options to turn to, but you learned a different coping mechanism. You learned a better way to deal with it, and that is a win. Sometimes you can have a comeback by focusing on what you're doing right instead of focusing on what you're doing wrong. So I'll tell you, for me, if you know my story at all, I paid off $106,000 in debt in just under 2 years. Prior to that point, I always really sucked with money and I was in my head about it big time. So I focused on what I was doing right. Once I finally got the hang of it or got determined, I was like, I'm in such a bad spot. I gotta figure this out. But then I started to focus on the things I was doing right instead of doing what I had always done my whole life and focused on what I was doing wrong. So when you start focusing on the things you're doing right, or when you did that in the past, that's a good indicator of a badass moment. That's a good indicator that you were having a comeback because you had changed your way of thinking. Write those down. So just take some time and reflect on a setback that you faced and successfully turned into a comeback. What challenges did you overcome? How did the experience contribute to your growth and to your resilience? Okay, I hope this kind of stirred some ideas up for you, got some things, got you thinking of different ways that you're a badass, different ways that you've had comebacks in your life, and really just recognize what a badass you are. Keep setting or keep turning those setbacks into comebacks. And as you have them in the future, make sure to write them down in your journal because it's so important to get it documented and keep it up to date. The more you do it, the easier it'll be for sure. But I know that you got this in every little thing, even if you only write down one thing today, that's okay. Every little thing helps to bolster your confidence and help you to realize that you are a badass. Okay, can't wait for tomorrow. It's going to be so good. We are going to be talking about overcoming obstacles. And with that, we'll end the show. To all the badass women out there staying in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future Spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.